broadcasting live from an undisclosed location deep in the heart of the Ozark Mountains using only a 9-volt battery and some aluminum foil. It's the Boredroom.
Welcome to the Boredroom. It's our first show.
Like I said, it'll probably be the most awkward show that we will do.
Maybe not. It should be fun.
We'll see. I'm Nathan Rogers at WooPick Sumo on Twitter.
And I'm Joe Batterton, and I don't have a Twitter. I don't tweet.
He don't have a Twitter.
Well, there's people out there that tweet enough for everybody, and I'm not going to mention any names. Anyway,
so about our podcast we got going on here, I guess we should say that whatever is said or done or whatever on here does not reflect upon our actual employers.
Yeah, we've both got to pay bills, and this is just our personal opinion. And
we're going to have some guests that might have some controversial views on things and might have a potty mouth occasionally, but
we're going to straighten them out, though.
Yeah.
We're going to make sure that we put them back on the straight and narrow.
That's right.
We're going to try our best, at least. But we're going to have a lot of fun with this. We're going to try to tackle any and every topic that is manly enough for us to take up. Nathan, tell us some of the topics we're going to be covering.
We are going to be covering mixed martial arts.
Mixed martial arts. That's not just one style of martial art.
It's a whole mix of them.
It's a whole mix of them.
Anywhere from local to regional to national. Guys from local promotions, regional promotion, even up to the UFC level.
UFC, now that would be a national promotion?
That would be global now.
That would be global now. Bellator would be national?
Bellator would be national.
Okay.
So I guess we're going global. We'll go from local to
global. That's pretty cool, though. MMA has grown so much in the last 15 years. It's went from something that was kind of an underground sport to a sport that's globally accepted. So,
and the crazy thing, it just got legalized in New York, the state of New York, last year in 2017.
That's crazy.
You could actually rent porn on satellite, but you couldn't watch MMA. Not even 25 years ago.
Wait a second, you can rent porn on satellite?
That's what I've heard. Don't know.
What about UFC? Can you rent that on satellite?
You can.
Yes.
I rented the UFC last night. Some pretty good fights.
This is crazy. They legalized marijuana in Colorado before they legalized MMA in New York.
Yeah, and it's not an Olympic sport either, which I think it should be. You have all the aspects of MMA already in the Olympics, but you don't have MMA.
I think it will be at some point. But we'll touch on that down the line. But that's one of the things we'll be talking about. We're both ravenous MMA fans.
And wrestling.
And wrestling, too.
WWE.
We like the wrestling.
SummerSlam's next week.
I like the New Japan.
I like New Japan.
Wrestling.
Oh, red shoes.
Let's see. We're
not just going to be talking about sports.
No, not just sports. I really hate sports for the most part. I love the fight sports. I like boxing and wrestling and MMA, but the other stuff, not a huge fan. I mean, it interests me. I mean, I've got relatives across the street that are over there rooting on the Vikings right now. But it's
It's not just a sports show. We're going to be hitting some controversial
controversy.
Topics.
What kind of controversial things are we going to be talking about?
What about global warming?
Is that really controversial?
To some people.
I mean, we've had global warming since the beginning of time.
It's 70 degrees today. It's January. What is today? January 20th? 21st.
And it was what was the temperature last week? -6?
Yes. So
okay, so it gets cold. It has to warm back up. Is that really controversial? I don't know, but we're going to find out.
Bigfoot, Sasquatch.
That's not controversial.
Skunk ape, whatever else.
That's real stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, I want to believe it is, but I'm not convinced. We're going to talk to some people who claim and believe wholeheartedly that it is. That'll be an interesting podcast.
I believe he's out there, and here's here's one of my little theories on how he's been getting by all these years. People say, well, if he was out there, you would find bones, you would find hair, you would find scat, which is a nice way of saying poo-poo. By
the way, we got sound bites, folks.
Woohoo!
I'm going to use them.
We're high-tech rednecks. But here's how he's been getting by, Nathan. He dresses like people. He shops at Walmart.
Or he could be like the late comedian Mitch Hedberg, who said he was blurry. Every picture of Bigfoot blurry. It's not the camera, he's just blurry, which makes him extra scary, according to Mitch.
That is kind of scary.
Other stuff, UFOs. You believe in UFOs?
I do believe in unidentified flying objects.
Okay, aliens.
Aliens, I'm not so sure. I think that we've been working on some way to keep aliens out of the country.
We have built a wall for aliens.
So, yes, I believe in aliens. Do I believe in aliens from outer space? I'm not so sure. There's days that I think that I do.
I've seen some crazy stuff in the sky before.
I'm
not saying it was an alien. It's probably a weather balloon.
But still, if you didn't identify it, that would be an unidentified
That's right.
flying object.
The JFK assassination, that's a big controversy.
It's not controversial. He got shot. He's dead.
He did get shot. Kurt Cobain's death.
Do you think Kurt Cobain had something to do with JFK?
No. Courtney Love killed them both. That's what happened.
I thought you said Mike Love killed them both. Mike Love from the Beach Boys. That's Courtney's dad, right?
Is it?
I don't think so. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. It's controversial though if it is.
Ghosts and the paranormal.
I believe in ghosts.
Yeah,
they're spooky.
That is spooky, man. There's a guy on YouTube who made some sort of box. You can talk to.
You say it was a toaster? Is it?
It looks like a toaster and a cassette tape.
Okay, this is the guy that you're telling me about. You said that he has taken these electronic parts, correct?
That's right.
Okay, so he's taken a bunch of electronic parts. He's put them together, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and it's got like a battery or some kind of outlet, correct?
It's got something.
It's powered by something.
Mm-hmm.
9-volt battery and aluminum foil, like we are here.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So he turns this machine on, and he can hear Johnny Cash, correct?
So he claims.
He can turn this thing on, and he can hear Tom Petty, correct?
So he claims.
It's a radio. It's got to be a radio.
It's got to be a radio.
It's got to be a radio.
Yeah, but Huff Paranormal. If you go on YouTube, check it out. It's kind of, I don't know. To be honest, at first I was like, what a joke. But then you watch them, and it's pretty freaky.
It's kind of like watching a horror film, though. If you watch it in a dark room by yourself, it's going to freak you out.
Yeah, which is what I did. But yeah, it's weird. I'm not saying I believe in it. The moon landing, that's controversial. That's a big conspiracy. Did we land on the moon, or did we do it in a Hollywood studio, like in the Red Hot Chili Pepper song?
How will we find this out?
You know what's funny? We haven't been on the moon since, right? 1960 something. It's 2018.
I've personally never been on the moon. I really don't know how we'd go about doing that.
We have the technology now that's much better than back then. So,
controversy.
Flat earthers. There's some people out there that actually believe that
no way.
The world is flat. I'm not one of them, but
well, have you ever been down to Mississippi, down in the Delta?
Unfortunately,
it's flat.
It's flat and backwards down there. But
it's my favorite bluegrass group.
Flat and
backwards.
Anyway, lots of stuff like that. We got some guests lined up. We're waiting for some schedule issues to get straightened out. And
we're not going to mention any names.
None.
Don. But as soon as we get some of these guys lined up, we're going to get them on here. I say guys. I mean, when I say guys, I'm talking universally, guys and girls.
Yeah, you got to watch that these days.
I know, and I try to be as politically correct as I can. But we've got some really interesting folks possibly lined up. We've got some famous people, some semi-famous people, some
futuristic famous
people. What else we got going on?
Oh, I don't know. We're just going to wing it.
That's what we're doing right now, right?
That's what we're doing right now. First, getting our feet wet. and just kind of letting everybody know what's in store, because we've been kind of teasing it for a while, and I've had people ask me when we're going to do it. So,
well, and really what we want to do is we want to be able to get some of these people on here and let them tell their side of the story, and if it's something that we feel strongly in opposition to, we're gonna tear into them a little bit, and all in good nature, good fun. I believe everybody has a right to their opinion, and I believe we have a right to make fun of their opinion if we can get by with it.
So, no Bigfoot sightings today, no UFO sightings today.
Ghost sightings, though. I did see a ghost earlier. I really don't want to talk about it right now. I'm still trying to recover from that.
That's scary stuff.
So tell me, what was the thing you were telling me about? The word, the word that the scary word that your child said.
Oh, that's something. We talked about certain segments we could have, and one was, what happened? What'd you do new this week, or what'd you try new this week? And for instance, I tried some new Monster energy drinks. It was pretty good. Grape and wild cherry. But the newest thing this morning, brought before church, my 2-year-old said butthole. Which is not a bad word, but it just
for a 2-year-old, it's a pretty bad
sounds like
word.
a nasty word. Like, even with the F words, that sounds worse than that.
Daddy, you know what the sound a butthole makes?
That's right. He knows, trust me. I said, where did you learn that word? And he said, Nana.
That would be his grandma, right?
That would be his grandma.
Have you talked to Nana about this
not yet, no. So I don't know if she said, shut up, you little butthole, or something like that. But.
Where's Grandma's little butthole at?
Anything new with you this week?
No. I've just about through my leprosy. Had an issue with vasculitis. For those of you out there who have never dealt with vasculitis, I would probably urge that you don't. I look like somebody's shot my legs with buckshot, but it's getting better.
I can confirm that does look about what he's describing.
Yeah, he decided. That's the way I sound at night when I'm trying to go to sleep. And Sheila will roll over and pull the covers off of me, and I make that sound. But no, that's about what's going on with me. We're just living the dream. This temperature going from -6 to 98 degrees in 2 days is about to kill me.
There you go, all you climate change, global warming people. Oh, it's funny. I always see. I don't know when it's cold. Like last weekend, you said it was -8 when I went to work one morning, and you hear people saying, "Ooh, I sure wish global warming was true," because
Where's global warming at now?
Yeah, well, it's January. It's supposed to be cold, and then today 70 degrees. So you don't ever hear those snide comments or Facebook posts when it's actually hot, when it's not supposed to be, only when it's cold.
Yeah, so come on, people, let's give the other side of the story. For all those people out there that want to knock it, you gotta make sure that you're sticking it back in their face. So again,
I'm not saying I think it's real or I agree with it, but I'm not convinced that it's not.
From what I've read, and who knows if that's right or not, it could all be a big conspiracy theory. But the way I understand it, all throughout the time that Earth has been here, it goes through cycles. So whether that's from dinosaurs passing gas or factories belching smoke from their coal stacks, who knows? But it's gonna fluctuate up and down. I remember, my grandparents talking about long cold winters, and you read about stuff back through U.S. history of some of these long cold winters they used to have. And then we haven't had one consistently for forever. I mean, so when's the last time we had a big snow that stayed?
Yeah,
a couple of years ago.
Last week was the ice storm.
The ice storm. I still got ice last summer up in my trees from that ice storm. It was that thick.
So,
awkward silence. We're
I
trying to
told you
keep.
it was going to be awkward.
We're trying to keep.
Trying to keep
Awkward.
things rolling.
Yeah. So if we can't do anything else, we'll just hit our sound bites. Because if not, we get nauseated, and if we get nauseated, you know how that goes. That was nasty.
OMG.
Oh my goodness. That's what that stands for, right?
So do you listen to any podcasts?
I don't listen to anything consistently. I mean, I'll pick up an episode here or there when I see one presented properly on Facebook or one of those other social media outlets that I do subscribe to. What do you listen to?
I listen to the Joe Rogan Experience quite a bit. Joe
Rogan, a little bit.
The Pat McAfee show, also PMS.
Well, I've listened to the PMS podcast before.
Occasionally Ben Shapiro, not that I lean his way, but, you know, he can make things interesting. But, yeah, this is going to be different. It's more like, we have a fraudcast, basically. It's not really a podcast.
A fraudcast?
Kind of. These guys are professionals. We're just...
Yeah, we're doing it because we...
Two hillbillies with a 9-volt battery and some...
aluminum foil. Well... You know, it might keep us out of trouble. Who knows? It might get us in trouble. Who knows?
That's probably where it's going to go.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. But you will hear opinions. Whether there are opinions or just opinions that we make up, you're going to hear them. You'll hear other people's opinions. Hopefully there'll be some entertaining stuff coming along.
Hey, first of the year, did you have any New Year's resolutions?
Yeah, I mean, it's the same old, same old. I'm going to try to get healthier and try to eat a little bit better, try to lose a little weight. I've lost a little weight. I'm sure everybody out there is just glad to hear that. But it's a hard thing to do, you know? I mean,
it's really hard.
You've got to eat to survive. You don't necessarily have to smoke cigarettes to survive. You don't have to drink beer or hard liquor to survive. But you do have to eat food to survive. So, you know, trying to change that around and do it in a healthy manner is kind of challenging sometimes, especially when all the good stuff tastes bad.
Yeah, everything has sugar. Everything has sugar in it. Sugar's the devil.
Sugar is the devil. No,
you know, I heard that sugar sets off some stuff in your brain the same as cocaine does.
Who's the guy that tested this?
I don't know. I don't know if that's true. I believe I kind of believe it though.
Is it like from the Cocaine Testing Society of America?
And it's accepted. That's what's scary. Cocaine's really not accepted.
It was at one time.
It was. People using Coca-Cola, right?
That's what I heard. I think you could get it from your local pharmacy.
Yeah.
I think
that prescription.
Eric Clapton used to give cocaine out on the jukebox all the time.
And speaking of cocaine,
that was pretty lame, wasn't it?
Yeah. Tom Petty passed away, a month or so ago?
Yeah, it's sad.
And they found out it was accidental overdose. I hate that. Tom Petty was a pretty awesome guy. Not that I knew him personally, but I did like his music. Very talented musician.
I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that it was accidental.
Accidental.
That happens a lot, you know. You see those stars, famous people, dying from accidental overdoses.
You know, you see a lot of pro wrestlers die at an early age.
From
drugs. They, of course, steroids and painkillers.
I can see painkillers. Those guys, whether you think they're real or not, they are athletes. They do get out there and they do...
they perform.
They perform and they do damage to their body all the time.
Weekly. There's no off season like in football or basketball. Of course, we all know things are predetermined and there's scripts written.
What?
Sorry.
Controversy. I see. This show is going to be constant controversy. I didn't know that. I thought it was real. I am shocked.
I hate to break it to you, but no. Pro wrestling's not real.
It's scripted?
It's scripted. But
Wait, so you're telling me when these two guys come out there in the ring and they're shouting these
in their
insults, and one guy slept with the other one's wife, and he's going to take his crown from him, that's scripted? It's not real?
It's scripted. However, there has been cases throughout history where two guys was not happy with one another, and it turned into what they call a shoot.
So,
and they really beat the crap out of it.
So you're telling me it's not all scripted then? So there is hope that some of those matches that I'm watching.
There is hope.
No, I know back in the day, back a long time ago, back in the time of the troglodytes, a lot of these guys were real catch wrestlers, and a lot of them were circus wrestlers. They go from town to town with a circus or with traveling shows and basically take on all comers. So some of these guys were pretty bad.
Hey, look, yeah, some of the old school guys, Billy Robinson.
Billy, I had the honor of being able to train with him a few times. Pretty cool guy.
Met him in Little Rock with you one time down at Westside MMA.
Yep. Good guys down there. Billy passed away a couple years ago.
He did. I think he should be in the Hall of Fame. He trained a lot of the guys that are in the Hall of Fame now.
And Billy was the real deal. I mean, a lot of these guys are the real deal as far as, being talented wrestlers. Some of them were college wrestlers. Some of them were catch wrestlers. But Billy was the real deal, and he was a gentleman, good guy.
Yep. Met him one time, and he said, if I'm ever in town again, call him and we'd have a beer. I never got to do that with him, but he was super cool. But yeah, they get popping those pills, and
he didn't.
No,
he was a. What else we got coming down the pipes?
Let's see.
Ghosts, aliens, talkbox, Bigfoot versus Sasquatch. Who would win?
Who would win between... Hey, did you hear... What was it? During the eclipse, I think it was in North Carolina, they had a emergency disclaimer thing their OEM sent out, but supposedly there's a lizard man. Did you remember that? Lizard man.
No.
Google lizard man North Carolina and just look at the only picture anyone has of this thing. But
warning, lizard man.
Oh my
I
goodness.
wonder who would win in a fight between Bigfoot and Lizard Man.
I would say Bigfoot. Who's heard of this Lizard Man?
I'm telling you, back in the eclipse, right here, South Carolina, look here.
He can't even decide where he's from.
South
Bigfoot's
Carolina
everywhere.
warns of possible Lizard Man sightings. This is during they were afraid, since he comes out at night, that during the eclipse, Lizard Man would come out and wreak havoc.
So
I'm not making this up.
This is from
just Google Lizard Man South
which
Carolina.
State?
South Carolina.
So the state of South Carolina puts.
Yes.
Puts
I'm going to pull up the actual, I guess, alert that they sent out.
So was it the governor? Did it come from the governor's office?
I think maybe just the county. I'm reading through here now, trying to, but yeah,
Lizard Man.
that really happened. And here's one of the only photos that is known of Lizard Man. You guys will have to Google this at home, but I'm going to show Joe real quick. It looks like a.
That's my Uncle Mort. Yeah. Okay. This is Lizard.
Here it is. That's him. Yeah.
That looks like they're taking a break from the Godzilla set.
That looks like something from a B
from
movie.
the old Japanese Godzilla movies.
Yeah. But he supposedly, some kid was pulled over to change a flat tire or something, and Lizard Man comes out and just demolishes his car and runs off into the woods.
Well, in typical Lizard Man fashion.
Yeah. Gotta watch out for him.
That's hilarious.
Oh, you people in South Kakalaki.
The old Lizard Man.
I think Bigfoot could take him.
I think you could too.
But I don't know. He had some pretty gnarly looking claws there.
Yeah, but he would have to get through Bigfoot's fur.
That's true.
I'm thinking.
I think you could step on his tail, kind of pin it to the ground.
But what if he's like one of those geckos that the tail comes off and it grows back? That'd be kind of scary. I've got you now. I've got you now.
Oh no, my tail comes off and it'll grow back.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yep,
So
there it is during the eclipse.
So does he only come out during the eclipse?
At night. So that's what they were afraid of, that it was going to get so dark during the day.
Oh, that he might.
would come-
I see.
So the county warned the citizens,
So he
maybe,
typically comes out there in the Carolinas,
yes.
and he comes out at nighttime. And because of the eclipse, people were used to him being out at night, but people wouldn't be used to him being. I get it completely now. I understand.
They're like, be careful. If it turns real dark today, Lizard Man might come out.
Wow.
Seek shelter.
Do they? I wonder if they put the same warning out when they have like an overcast day,
Could.
or is it got to be like a total eclipse?
Total eclipse of the heart, I'm thinking.
Lizard Man. Yeah. I think there's a soundbite for Lizard Man. Oh, that's not the one. That one.
WTF?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Some people think
It's alive!
Yeah, buddy.
so. You had a little ghost hunting experience. You want to shed some light on that?
I really don't like to talk about it too much. It brings back old scary memories. I got a couple friends. We may try to get them on here at some point. They go out, and I don't know if they do it so much anymore, but they, back when it was really getting popular, they were kind of going out and doing some of those things and doing the little ghost hunt. And I went with them a couple times, and there's some creepy little things that come up on digital recorders sometimes when people are asking questions. I'm kind of the sit back in the corner and listen to everybody else do their thing, but my big concern is, now, you can say that it's real and it's not real, but I question it sometimes, and if I tended to believe that this might be real and that these were spirits, entities that move around within a building or whatever, I really don't want them coming home with me, you know? I mean, going somewhere, if you could just pay like a fee, like buy a ticket and go into like the theater or the ghost house or whatever.
They need a ghost zoo.
Yeah, a ghost zoo.
Where
See,
you go there and the ghosts are in some sort
they're
of...
confined in ghost cages. You could go see them in their natural habitat, just like these zoos building these wildlife habitats. You'd want to do the same thing for ghosts. I could do that, because you go there, you visit, and you see the poltergeist. You see the banshee. You see all these in their natural environments.
But they stay there.
You go home and they stay at the zoo. You can't guarantee me that if I go into a haunted house, a quote unquote haunted house, I really don't want him following me home, or her.
Yeah.
So
we got to be careful about the genders of ghosts too.
Yeah. Because and see, I don't know all the cleansing rituals and stuff. The prayers and the pumping sage around you and whatever thing.
Where do you get holy water?
I think you have to bless it.
Who blesses it?
I think a priest does.
I'm not Catholic, so I'm just...
Well, then if you're not Catholic, then you're out of luck, because...
Well, don't you think holy water would protect you?
How's it going to protect you? You going to take a bath in it?
I'll just have a spray bottle, man. And
Okay, so if it's a ghost,
blast them.
it's a ghost. Okay, so there's nothing physically there. So how are you going to spray them with holy water?
I'd spray myself, maybe.
Stop, don't make me spray this holy water on me. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know what would protect you. So that's the reason I don't go ghost hunting.
Well, they say
just in case they're real and they want to come home with me. I really don't want to wake up in the middle of the night.
Yeah, that stuff's freaky. I'm not saying I believe in that either, but it's definitely freaky. And once you get that stuff in your head, it's there.
Yeah. Well, and it's like anything that those questionable beings out there. There's one in particular that kind of freaks me out.
Ho, ho, ho!
Here's this guy. You're sitting in your house in the middle of the night. You're sleeping. December 24th, midnight, turns over the 25th, and all of a sudden, here's this big, hairy guy that just appears in your house and he's bringing you quote unquote gifts. I'm sorry, I have problems with that. It's
But
spooky, kind of
At least
creepy.
he's jolly. He's not there to scare the crap out of you.
Depends
I mean,
on
it would
which
scare the
version.
crap out of me if I
Depends on
saw
which
it.
version you're going after.
True.
Saint Nick, Belschnickel, you know.
Hey,
I don't know.
what was that horror movie a few years ago?
Belschnickel,
No.
Krampus.
Krampus.
Yeah, there's another one. Belschnickel and Krampus are like second cousins.
I never
or
saw
something.
Krampus. I don't know. Heard it. Heard different stuff about it.
Well, he's a real crotchety version of Santa Claus, and
Kind of like the one is in the mall, like the guy on
Bad Santa.
Christmas Story. Yeah, Bad Santa. That's an even better one. I love Bad Santa.
Bad Santa. Nathan loves him some Bad Santa.
It's got some dirty words in it.
It
though.
does have a lot of dirty words. What
Yeah.
else? What other kind of mythical creatures might we talk about? Leprechauns,
Leprechauns.
gnomes,
Gnomes.
Easter bunnies,
Let's see.
witches. They're not mythical. I know some witches.
Elves.
Elves.
Have you seen the Bright on Netflix? Will Smith new. It's kind of a different world type setting with his partner is some sort of mythical creature like we're talking about now.
I've seen the preview. I've not watched it.
It's not bad. It got bad reviews. I'm not into the sci-fi stuff, but it wasn't as bad as what they were making it out to be.
So is it an elf?
There are elves in the movie. There's magic wands.
Okay. Was this like Lord of the Ring type elves, or was this like?
No, they're like FBI agents, but they're
Okay. Okay. I think you just lost me there. They're mythical. Did I just say mythical?
It's mythical creatures in like the modern world. They got
Okay.
like regular jobs, and it's
Little plastic surgery.
it was original. I'll say that.
Okay.
I'm trying to-
Easter bunnies? Do we have any?
There's no Easter bunnies in
No
there.
Easter bunnies.
He's an orc. His partner is an orc,
Okay.
and yeah, you can Google what an orc is. But
I think that would come back.
he's a nice orc compared to some of the other.
Is that
orcs.
kind of like an oxymoron? A nice orc?
Yeah. But yeah, it was different. Speaking of movies, man, Hostiles.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm a big
wanna see
Western
that.
fan. I love Western
I
movies.
love a good Western, and they don't make them anymore.
Apparently they do because there's one coming out.
They
next
don't make
week.
them like they used to. Let me put it that way.
According to the previews, this is going to be the best Western since
Best Western, also a good place to stay if you're traveling on the road.
the best Western since Unforgiven.
Unforgiven. What's your top 5 favorite Westerns?
Oh,
I'm giving you free because the Mount Rushmore is only 4. So whenever someone asks me, "What's your Mount Rushmore of favorite bands or favorite fighters or whatever?"
are we
It's
counting like television westerns too, or like
Movies.
Lonesome Dove?
Oh well,
I mean, Lonesome Dove was a good movie.
it is. It's one,
Series or whatever you want to call it. Anything
but it was a made-for-TV movie. So
anything with Robert Duvall in it.
Yep, I agree. Tommy Lee Jones too.
Tommy Lee Jones. I'm a big John Wayne fan, just because I was kind of raised on it. I like the original True Grit.
Mhm.
I like the new True Grit. A lot of people, want to kind of poo-poo on it because it wasn't a cookie cutter of the original, but I thought it was a good rendition. I think it was probably closer to the book than the original.
I heard that. I didn't read the book, but I did hear that.
That's one. I think Open Range was a good kind of modern take on a western. Unforgiven.
Mhm.
There's 3. I think Tombstone probably.
Yeah.
I'm up to 4 now. Is that right?
I think so.
And I can't think of anything else off the top of my head. I'll after we get done with this, I'll go, oh man, I forgot that was my favorite.
Yep, it always happens. Got Tombstone, great. Unforgiven's great. Some underrated ones that people always overlook, but when I see them on TV and I come across them, I just stop. Young Guns 1 and 2.
Yeah. Especially when they came out. I mean, I look back at them now, and some of it's kind of dated to the time they were made. You know, the music. It always bugs me when they do a Western and they put kind of modern or current music in there instead of using something that's like period correct. Yeah. Or something that sounds a little bit more period correct.
Yeah. Outlaw Josie Wells.
That's one of my favorites also.
Yeah. Lots of good ones. I like mafia movies too. I like a bunch of stuff I can't watch at home because of my kids, so
it's hard being a dad with young children.
The dad life.
Yeah,
so I usually watch stuff on my iPad.
See, I'm a dad of an adult child, and it doesn't live in the house, so I can watch what I want unless the grandchild is around. And he's young enough right now where I don't have that problem. But in a couple
of years,
he'll
be running around saying butthole.
Yeah, so. Yeah. No, I'm going to teach mine to go for the gusto and just
go big or go home.
Yeah, just use the ass word. Oh. One of the first cuss words I'm going to teach him is I'm going to tell him, you need to say this to your mom. Go tell her. And I think they'll get the point at that time. And
teach them young.
We'll have a lot of fun with it.
It is kind of funny. You know, you're
going to pick it up.
My 4-year-old was saying a word not too long ago. I'm not going to say it now. But it's not bad, but I know people's listening, and I just don't want to say it. But he would say it. Once I tell you his way to try to get around saying it, then you'll know what he said. So he said it, and I didn't want to make a big deal out of it because I knew then he would say, hey, there's something about that word that's a big deal. That might encourage him to say it more. So I told him not to say it. He said it again. And so I told you not to say that word. You say it again, and you're going to get a spanking. Well, then he continued doing what he was doing, and he said, she ought. And I said, we just had this, discussion. Don't say that word. Now you know what's going to happen. And he said, I said she ought. I didn't say shit. So right there, I said it, but I kind of had to. But he's pretty smart for his age.
would say, yeah. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, but he got in trouble.
Yeah, but he got to say it though.
Yep. He thought he was being smooth.
He was being smooth.
Disguise his word.
He's gonna look back one day and he'll remind you when he's about 18 or 19. Hey, Dad, do you remember when you told me not to say that? And I said she ought. That's like biatch. Is that kind of it's in the same? Fun stuff. Well. It's you're going to pay for your raising. I think that's the way they
that's
say
what they say.
Yeah, I'm sure your mom has probably told you that.
I was a pretty good kid. I never got in any trouble.
Whatever.
I got in a little trouble one time. That's another story. Another podcast.
That's a story for another podcast.
Luckily, it was on federal government land, and I just had to send a check in with a ticket. And got me out of it.
And he's almost done with community service.
Almost, yeah. We're probably going to say way too much about ourselves on here.
Probably. Well, it's probably nothing that most people don't know anyway.
Another hot topic of vaccines.
Oh, yes.
Anti-vax. Should we get shots? Should we just not? And catch every disease.
There's a lot of stuff out there,
There's a lot of stuff.
Out there. I really don't want to get the smallpox.
I think I'll take my chances.
Which I know they've stopped giving smallpox vaccine, but they did eradicate it for the most part.
But then you look at this flu vaccine that they did this year is only 10%.
10%, yeah.
What's the point?
Well, if you're part of that 10%, it's a big deal.
Yeah, but don't they? Isn't that basically they inject the flu in you?
I think it's
I don't know.
It's not a live virus. They don't inject you with the live virus.
Still, I don't want them injecting me with anything. I don't like needles.
I don't mind them so much.
I got a needle phobia, and every time I get a shot or have to give blood and I'm not looking, and they're like, "Oh, we're done," and I didn't even know they did it.
I gotta watch
what it is, but
if you're gonna stick a sharp, pointy object into my body, I want to watch so I know exactly the moment I'm going to start feeling the pain.
Yeah. See, I don't want to look at somebody stabbing me with a metal object.
I'll be sitting there looking at it. They'll go, you might want to look the other way. I'm going, no, I'm going to watch and make sure that you're going to stick me in the right place and when you're sticking me. So, yeah.
But some interesting guests coming up. We got some nutritional experts. Like I said, some MMA people. Lots of cool stuff.
We might have a potential championship archer. Who's
Olympic archer?
I think he's helped train some Olympic archers. I don't think he's actually participated.
An author?
He's an author.
Sports science? I don't know. Sports psychology. That's what it is.
Was at one time the oldest active MMA fighter in the United States. And even if he wasn't, we claimed that he was anyway.
Yeah.
So Grandpa Don might be coming on. He said he has, so we'll see. We're gonna have him on this first show, and he had some family obligations going on, so we'll try to see if we can't round him up here in the next 2 or 3 weeks and get him on here. And he's always got something to say.
Yep. So don't worry about that, folks. He's a talker.
But
Actually,
we're gonna
shot some bows with Ted Nugent and Kid Rock not too long ago.
He's coached a lot of people. Yeah, he gets out there and does some tune-ups with some of those big names, probably on a yearly basis. But he's a pretty interesting cat. He lived around here for a while and trained over at my jiu-jitsu gym for a year or two, and we had a lot of good times. And we'll talk about some of that stuff and talk about what he's doing right now.
Good times. So it looks like in the Super Bowl we're going to have the Patriots and the Eagles.
Oh no!
And I'm going to say the Patriots are going to win.
I guess I'll go along with you there. Now, where are they from?
Bruno Payet.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely rooting for those guys. They're local boys. Go Pats.
Oh, something we would like everyone listening to keep some folks in your thoughts and prayers. That'd be the people of Oregon.
Yes, definitely. There's some rough stuff going on over there.
They're experiencing some hardships, having to pump their own gas, and they don't know what the heck they're doing. Just having nervous breakdowns. So
thoughts and prayers. That's a pretty tough skill to learn, and when you've not done it most of your life, I'm afraid that some of those folks are going to starve to death over there because they're not going to be able to get out and get groceries. So we're going to try to talk to one of those gas station attendants over there.
Yeah, we Googled some gas stations. There's a town called Boring, Oregon, which kind of goes along with our Boredroom podcast. So we Googled some gas stations and we got some phone numbers and we need to call and check on them.
So we'll be doing that here maybe on our next segment that we do.
And the kids are eating Tide Pods. What is wrong with kids eating Tide
What
Pods?
in the hell is wrong with these people? Okay.
So we had the cinnamon challenge.
Okay, I get that. That's a food. It's a spice.
The Kylie Jenner challenge.
I don't know. Did they eat Kylie Jenner? What was it?
They did something with their lips, and it was exploding their lips or something, trying to make their lips bigger, and
so
voluptuous.
They're like injecting their lips or putting something on.
No, I
there?
think they were putting something that was like sucking them, swelling them up, busting them open. I don't know.
And now we've resorted to eating laundry detergent.
These are the people that will be electing our next president.
These are the people that are going to be taking care of you.
Yes.
In the nursing homes, and I don't want to say that. I said that, and I retract what I just said because I don't think those people would ever be able to get a job working somewhere like that.
Oh, the hot pepper challenge.
I kind of understand that. But the laundry detergent.
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't get it.
What was one? They were setting themselves on fire and putting each other out. I don't know.
Well, I understand that. Catch your buddy on fire. Yeah. It's maybe not. I don't know. I don't get any of that stuff. Burning. I remember the guys were like. They burn themselves and like put words or stuff on their arm,
yeah.
And I thought,
They get a
What's the-
cigarette lighter hot and they make
Yeah.
a smiley face.
Yeah, it's like what is going on with the
Yeah.
world? And now we're
Okay.
eating laundry detergent. So
I wonder what it tastes like.
I don't know, but I saw that Hertz Donuts up in
Yeah.
Springfield are
Yeah.
making they're making donuts that look like Tide Pods,
Man.
which I think is hilarious.
Those Hertz donuts, that's some good stuff.
Well, they don't call them Hertz for no reason.
Yeah, like fruity pebbles all over it.
It hurts.
Good.
It hurts just thinking about it.
It does. Especially, I've been doing the keto diet for this is day 21.
The Cheeto diet.
Yeah,
I might get on that. Cheetos, all the Cheetos you can eat.
Ketosis.
Explain that. What is that exactly?
It's where you pretty much deplete your body of carbs, all carbs, but of course there's bad carbs in like pastas and cereals and stuff like that. But even ones and vegetables, you pretty much limit them. It depends on your macros. You figure all that out, and then you eat a bunch of fats, like good fats, and then what
Like
happens
bacon?
is bacon, yes, bacon, cheese, lots of stuff like that. And what happens is your body goes through ketosis, and it switches from burning the carbs in your body to burning the fat, and then supposedly that's what happens.
Whatever.
But we're going to have some experts on this stuff coming up. Maybe they can set us straight on what they recommend and what they've seen that works and
Well,
what
I mean,
don't work and what's a fad.
I've found one that has worked pretty good for me. It's a seafood diet.
Mm-hmm. I've heard of that.
Yeah. I'm serious. Yeah, everything I see I eat.
Yeah.
The seafood diet.
I wish I
It's a
could-
wonderful thing. No, I'm not on a diet per se. I've been trying to cut back my fat intake and my caloric intake. And
Why have you been cutting back on your fat?
why?
Yeah.
Because I'm fat.
But what if those fats are good for you?
I'm not saying I cut out all fats. I'm just saying I cut out bad fats. I'm mostly animal fats.
Here's what's crazy. I heard on a podcast about a month
Oh, here
ago
you go. You listen to a podcast and you're going to believe it.
that, well, it makes sense. Let's say, I think it's like 1980, whatever the year was. That's when the government started saying, sugar's not bad for you, it's fat. Everything needs to be low fat. And before that, everybody was, I'm not saying everybody was in great shape, but so that's the year, whatever the year was, everybody started going low fat, no fat, and all the labels started changing, the grocery store started doing something different. Well, since then, our obesity rate has like skyrocketed.
You think it's directly related to the low fat diet?
I think so. That and sugar. I said earlier, sugar's the devil, and sugar's everything. And
You know what I think it is?
what?
I think it's a sedentary lifestyle. I think we're a
No,
bunch
I
of
agree.
lazy bums is what I think it is,
I agree.
myself included. It's real easy to look and overanalyze all this stuff, and people look at the pioneers. They ate large sandwiches and they were healthy. Well, they also died when they were like 35 years old. But what kept them trim and slim and right around 150 pounds for a full grown man?
working their rears
Because they
off.
were working their butts off.
Yep.
They were out there walking behind a plow and trying to keep up with a mule. Have you ever tried to keep up with a mule? Exactly. He sounds like that, and you sound like that at the end of the day. So that's if we really want to get down to basics, that's where you lose your weight, is get out there and plow some fields.
Sorry.
That will make you lose weight too.
Yep. It will too.
Oh, you know what that is? That's a signal that it's time for us to start wrapping it up.
Getting time to wrap it up, guys. Thanks for listening. Like I said, this will be the most awkward podcast that we would do, but
And we just wanted to kind of touch base on some of the things we're going to be talking about, and kind of get our feet wet and get our voices out there. And
I think over time it'll get better. It's kind of like you watch The Sopranos or Friends. The first couple of episodes, it's
I like that you compared us to The Sopranos and Friends. That's good.
Acting, you go back now and watch the early episodes, and it's a little awkward, but as time goes by, they get more comfortable and loose.
So that's what we're hoping for. So this is the Samurai and the Sumo signing off, and thanks for joining us today.